Hello, Aquarius. This is Gypsy Spirit here with you, ready to give you your tarot reading from September 5th through 11th. And I want to thank you for being a subscriber to my Patreon page. Thank you so very much. It really does mean a lot to me. So let's go ahead and get started. I've already drawn your cards. Excuse me. And I'm ready. Some things have been going on with you, Aquarius, that have not been happy things. I feel like there is something that's happened, an event that's happened in your life recently that has really got you. It's almost like a cloud of bad energy or a negative feeling that's wrapped all around you. And you're just so, it's almost like you're so agitated that you can't even think straight. It's like this energy. The best way to describe it, and I talk a lot in my readings. I'll either compare things or movies or celebrities or songs or whatever will come to me, and I think that happens to a lot of us readers. But it's related to what's going on with the person or whoever it is I'm reading for. So the Sun card here is in reverse. So it tells me like there's no, it's like there's no sunshine in your life. And when I see this card, or when I feel like what's going on with you, I think of The Godfather. I know, one of my favorite movies, all three of them, right? But I always think mafia. And I see like somebody that has, like somebody is, it's almost like somebody's taken a couple of cinder blocks and wrapped them around your body and thrown you in the ocean, and you just completely sunk down. There's no light. It's like almost you can't even breathe almost. You feel like you're suffocating with all this negative energy all around you, because a lot of it has to do with something that happened in your life, something negative that had a very negative impact, and it's created this this just feeling of darkness and pain, and you don't know how to get out of it. But you know, the High Priestess card is in reverse, and your High Priestess, that's your higher divine. It's like you want to know how to get out. How you're trying to figure out, like you're sunk at the bottom of this ocean or river, and you want to take some scissors and cut that rope that's got those cinder blocks tied to you. And there's only one way to do it, you know, and you're trying to figure out how to do that, and that is tapping into your higher divine. But before you can tap into your higher divine, it's like you feel like you've made so many mistakes, you feel like you've been a failure and everything, and how do you even begin to trust yourself, or to raise yourself above, to listen to your intuition, or to trust your instincts? Because right now you just feel like you're totally at the bottom of that ocean with that cement cylinder tied around you. And the only way you're going to do it, Aquarius, is that you start believing in yourself. Stop listening to every fucking body else, because that's what got you here in the first place. You haven't trusted your instincts. Now, this is a general reading. This is not for everybody. So if this doesn't resonate with you, then move on. But there's people out there that need to hear this. And what I'm trying to tell you is that you need to, you gotta start believing in yourself. Stop trusting somebody. You took the advice, or you fell into the wrong crowd situation, whatever, and you're trying to figure out how to move on, how to get yourself out of that river. And because if you don't get out of the river, you're going to die, right? So it's time, Aquarius, to put one foot in front of the other and start believing in yourself, trusting yourself, saying no to any kind of compromises that you're not comfortable with. I feel like for some of you, there's been a relationship that you were in, and you made a lot of compromises. Perhaps you were with a narcissistic personality, and there was a lot of compromises made, and now the relationship is over, and you just feel like total shit because of of all the abuse that you took. For others, it could be something to do with a job or a family situation. But whatever it is, you didn't listen to the red flags. You didn't observe the red flags and take the advice. No, we all have red flags that when we're getting ourselves into something, we have those little red flags that come along and tell us what we need to know. And then we have the decision, the free will to decide whether we want to, go through with whatever it is. I'll give you a good example. I always tell little stories in my readings. So I met this guy, I don't know, 8 years ago, okay? One of the worst heartbreaks, one of the worst breakups I've ever had. But I met this guy, and even before I went out with him, before I even dated him, we were at this big musical venue, and I heard him shout something so loud, everybody could hear it, and it was the most offensive thing. It was so offensive, I just felt goosebumps go up, and it was like, ugh, I can't believe I just heard that. It was horrible what he said. And there was another guy that was with him, and so when I started going out with this guy, I wasn't sure if it was him or the other guy that said this offensive thing. And so when I first started going out with this guy, I convinced myself that it was the other guy that had said it. And there was no way this guy's name was Brian. There was no way that Brian could have said what I heard, because he was too nice. And so Brian and I go out. I'm already like really involved. I mean, like maybe 2 or 3 weeks into the dating or whatever. I'm really liking him, and I have completely convinced myself there is no way that he said that horrible thing. And one day, we're talking about it, and I brought it up to him, and I said, yeah, that was the most offensive thing I think I've ever heard. It wasn't you that said that. And he said, yes, it was. Guess what? Red flag number 1. And guess what I did? I ignored it. Yes, I ignored it. So, and guess what happened? There was another red flag, and another red flag, and another, and another, and another. I mean, red flags for 2.5 years. I mean, my gosh. And they just kept slapping me in the face, and I kept ignoring them because I really wanted this relationship to work out. I really, really liked him, and, he was great in bed, or at least I thought he was great in bed. I've had better since. But anyway, guess what happened? We broke up. I mean, it was like the worst fucking breakup I have ever experienced in my entire life. I burnt this motherfucker's clothes. I was gonna burn him down. I was gonna burn his house down, but I didn't want the people on each side of his house. I didn't want to burn their houses down, so I didn't do it. But yeah, it was so horrific, and my energy, oh my God, I was definitely close to death. I was so down far. I mean, they had a ton of bricks, a ton of those cemented things wrapped around me. I'm telling you, I was completely at the bottom. And it took a really long time, a long, long time for me to be able to cut those strings that was holding me down at the bottom of that ocean and to rise back. I mean, I use all this as a metaphor, but I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. And it took a long time. And it took a long time for me to learn the lesson that the reason why all this had happened was because I ignored the red flags. And I read something recently, I think it was on Facebook, and it said something like, if you ignore red flags, you will pay the consequence for it later. There's going to be a price to pay if you ignore red flags. And that's exactly what happened to you, Aquarius. You ignored those red flags, and now look where you're at. So now, I get it. I totally understand how it feels to be at the very bottom of that ocean and trying to rise yourself up so you can see sunlight again. I get it. But right now, I'm telling you, the only way you're going to get out of this is to start trusting yourself and believing in yourself. I have the Star card here that's telling me that, yeah, you're going to be at the bottom of that river for a little while until you start learning to trust yourself and listen to your higher divine. Listen to those red flags. Okay? So I wish you the very best. I will be praying for all of you. That I will certainly be lifting all of you Aquarians up in prayer, because this is just a terrible feeling. And I don't, but there is a good thing to this. After you come out of it, your whole life will change. My whole life changed. It got so much better. And I started doing great things for myself and for others. So it does get better, Aquarius. Thank you for listening, and I hope to see you again next week. I can't wait to see what happens with you next week. So please tune in, and I will see you again soon. Okay? Bye-bye.